Hello there, Plexers. This is Alex Sturgeon, HobbyTown HobbyPlex, and we're here for another edition of Alex Fixes. This time, I have two Arrma Sentons I'm going to try to get going for you guys. One of them's got broken shocks, broken front A-arm. I think the other one might have some transmission stuff. We'll get in there and get all that done. But we're going to make sure we get both of these done quickly for the customer, and should make for a very quick and easy, lots of time-lapse fun video. So let's get this started and get these going and get these fixed. All right, here's our first one. Just a basic 3S Arrma Senton, and they busted the top of the rear shock and they busted the rear A-arm. You guys can get in there and see that. There we go. This one shouldn't take too long and should be pretty easy to do. Let's get in there and get her done. Alright, so we're going to do the shocks in real speed here, just to give you guys. I did a how to rebuild a Arrma shock a couple of years ago, and that was before I knew that you could, well, I'll show you here, but that was before I knew that you could push this shaft in and untwist the bottom without any tools. So consider this a how to rebuild an Arrma shock. So he busted the cap. Unfortunately, the cap is built into the shock body itself, so we're gonna unscrew the fake looking cap thing here. Take that off, take our springs off. Now, see those notches right there, and it's got some notches right here. So you can actually go like this, and it should untwist. Look at that. Look how easy they made it. Great sound. Okay, so there's our broken one. We're going to go toss this. Get my rag ready here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill this up to the threads. I don't know if you guys can see inside of there, the threads go pretty deep. Take that, spooge them in there. We're gonna twist. Actually, before I do that, I gotta do this. We're actually gonna, there we go. You want that pulled out, okay? So, in a little bit, get it started. This is where your rag comes in at. Once you get started a little bit, you're gonna push that guy in there and then twist it all the way in. You're gonna see oil coming out. That's okay. That's why we didn't fill it up all the way to the top, because you would add a ton of oil coming out instead of just a little bit of oil. Wipe away all your yucky oil. Make sure that it goes in all the way and that it's smooth. This one I'm actually going to undo. I'm going to bleed again because it's got a little bit of pressure, and I probably could have gotten away with it, but what I don't want is for the shock to explode out of the bottom. So we're gonna this real quick. Get some oil coming out of there. There we go. That's what you want. Okay. So, what you want to have happen is you want to push it all the way in, and without having it sort of like push itself out or find any resistance. If you feel resistance when you're coming in, you got to re-bleed it. But now you can see, you can feel that there's oil all the way through the stroke there. If you do that and there's like an empty spot, then you got to take it off and refill it. That's where just bleeding it a little bit at a time will help out a ton. So now we're gonna try to wipe off all the extra oil we can so it doesn't attract dirt. Now we'll put our spring back on, our little spring holder, that guy, and then this right here.
No, I'm saying it.
And now we're ready to put it on the truck. One fixed Arrma shock. Beautiful. Okay, moving on. All right, truck number one. Let's make sure we got it fixed, and then we'll give our customer a call. There we go, good to go. All right, well, that was pretty easy. So we're gonna move on to our second Senton, whatever you wanna call it. And this one's pretty funny. It says, steering is off, tune up, new servo, tires and new servo. So basically, I'll show you guys here. Hang on a second. So the tires on this one are toast, and it says steering is off and it might need a new servo, and then it says tune up. I mean, honestly, there's not a whole lot to tune up on a brushed Senton, but we'll take a look at it. Maybe some bearings need to be cleaned up or something like that. There is a little bit of rust, so we're gonna see what we got here. But yeah, let's move on to this one, see what we can do. All right, so first things first, we got to figure out exactly what's wrong with it. So we're just gonna flip on the car here. Well, that's a positive. The motor's making the noise it's supposed to make, and yes, no steering. Does have throttle. Sounds a little crunchy. So we'll first thing we'll do is we'll get the servo fixed. Yay! I feel like I've done this before. All right, so I do have a how-to video out there of how to put a servo in a Senton Granite Typhon, and it's one of my better videos out there, I think. So if you've seen that one before, you know that we pretty much grab this Ecopower 110T on just about every 10 scale ready to run that we get that needs a new servo. It's just a really solid servo with a pretty good price point. And then for Arrma cars, current Arrma cars, you have to have the servo saver go along with it so that you can get the right spline. So Spectrum is 23 spline, pretty much everything else is 25. So that's what we're choosing here. This is a good 280 ounces of torque, so it's super strong, metal geared, and it's a solid replacement for again, just about every ready to run. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to open this box up and just plug it in to make sure that that's in fact the problem and it's not a radio problem. And then once we get that established, then we'll install it. Let's see. We'll move on. Okay, new servo is installed and it works, and it's real clean. I love how the Arrma cars, the Arrma plastic cars, you can just take the servo and radio box completely out and it make everything real tidy, you know, instead of trying to jam your hands and thumbs in the car and everything. The only thing is, because it's a different servo, and this happens every once in a while, is now it's backwards. Okay, this is a super easy fix, especially on these SLT3s. If you have a digital radio, you might have to go in to each channel and it'll say REV or NOR, which is normal and reverse. And in this case here, you can see on the back side, there's our steering. We're going to reverse it just by doing that right there. And now we're going the right direction. Then we got to kind of recenter it a little bit. And we'll do this again when we drive the car, but now you're all set. Okay, so now we got to get this person different wheels and tires, and I'm going to fully charge the battery and just make sure that it's going to go as fast as it's supposed to. These SLT3s, so he's already got it up to 100%, so we should be able to see this truck go at full power, and then I'd say we're good. Maybe we'll go take it to the air compressor and clean it off a little bit, just make it look nice. But easy peasy, moving on. Well, we were just about ready to wrap this up and finish putting our last tire on, and turns out that this nut is stripped. And that's a bad news, because what would happen is you could strip a wheel pretty easily. Look at all that metal coming off there. See how I can just keep turning it and keep turning it? So we're gonna take that all the way off. Make sure that that's not on there. Get that off there. Get off of there. Wow. Brand new 4mm nut. Tighten this baby all the way down, no strippage. Chuck this guy. All right, let's go test this thing out. Okay, servo's been replaced, and we put on brand new tires for our customer, and now we're just going to drive it around and make sure it works. And when we're done here, we're going to go clean it off real fast, make it look real nice. But I don't know, let's give it a shot. Let's see how it does. It's got that very distinct Arrma Senton tire sound to it, but it works. Looks fast to me. It looks like a brushed, stock brushed Mega 550 Senton. So I think we're going to call it good. I think we're going to spray it down and get it cleaned up real quick, and then should be good to go. All right, last thing that we're going to do for this truck is just kind of clean it up. It is a little dirty. We don't normally just clean people's cars, but I don't know, kind of felt like this one needed to be done. So simple green, okay, real easy. Truck's waterproof, right? So we're just gonna spray it down. Simple green's nice because it's kind of a degreaser. If you guys ever like selling stuff on Marketplace or eBay or anything like that too, and you want your car to look really good really fast, this is a nice way to just kind of shine it up. Okay, air compressor, and then we'll just okay, let's go inside where there's some light and take a peek at how we did. Should have done like a before and after, but whatever, it'll be fine. So you can actually see the difference between the parts of the chassis that we didn't spray down with simple green versus the front end parts that we actually did, and the shocks and everything. So see kind of a little bit of a little cleaned up. I like it. Wasn't terribly dirty or anything like that anyways. I've seen some way worse ones come in, way muddier. Anyways, I think that does that for that one. It's race night. All right, that concludes yet another Alex Fixes. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had some fun there. Hope you learned something maybe. We'll see what we got up there for repairs next. Haven't seen any big ones come in, but always try to make it interesting, try to do something a little different. So that's it for now. Make sure that you guys subscribe, like, tell your friends, and we will make another video for you soon.